Hello and welcome to Viewpoints, Dominion DMS's video podcast series where we highlight our vendor partners. I'm Sharon Kitzman, president of Dominion DMS, and with us today we have Mike Hanna, CEO and founder of TrueSpot. Welcome, Mike.
Hey, Sharon, great to be here.
Great. Tell us a little bit about yourself as a CEO and founder, and of course, about TrueSpot.
Yeah, of course. A little bit about myself to start. So I'm a bit of a technology geek, always have been. And I mixed that with a little bit of retail automotive experience. And so I sold cars about 6-7 years ago, coming out of telecom and consumer electronics. I thought I had a better way to help dealerships do a lot of operational efficient things, better run operations, create better consumer experience. And so I kind of started in the garage, sort of, so to say, with a few friends of mine. And we just started kind of building some things that allowed us to kind of create the first kind of iterations of what TrueSpot became. So a little bit myself, technology geek, love cars, love working in retail automotive.
Awesome. That's kind of the dream, right? Like starting in your garage and now you're in an office. That's amazing.
Nice transformation. Yeah.
Great. Well, we're almost done with March. So I trust you had a successful Q1 to 2023.
Yeah, Q1's always great, always fun coming into the new year, and you have NADA at the beginning of the year. So that always creates a lot of excitement, a lot of work, a lot of things going on. But yeah, Q1 has been really exciting, despite everything that's going on in the world and everything with it. We're having a great time and busier than we ever have been. So
great. Okay. Well, you teased us about your automotive retail background and then transitioning into technology with TrueSpot. Give us an example about your solutions within TrueSpot and maybe something that's unique in the value that they provide to dealers.
Yeah, so we have done something different. We like to think that we pioneered a new category in retail automotive. And so the way we kind of like to talk about it is that it starts with location. So we used to say location is everything. So what do? We've created a system that allows dealerships to track everything that moves. So cars and keys and dealer plates, golf carts, dogs, if there's a dog on campus. So the system is a campus-based location system. You know where everything's at all the time in real time, whether it's on lot or off lot. And so that's where we started. And what got really exciting as we really built that system was we started to take location and apply it to just operations. So we went from location to something we call geointelligence. And so bringing artificial intelligence and location together. So now you can start to automate process, automate workflow. I can give more examples of that in a bit, but it just gets more and more about creating efficiencies and transformation from a dealership operations perspective.
Interesting. Are you actually tracking any dogs?
We do. We've had a handful of dogs that are being tracked by our system. Yeah, dogs, golf carts. I don't think we have any cats, but yes.
Excellent. Okay, well, I can't wait to hear about it. When you think about all the different piece parts that went into the technology solution suite that your dealer invested in when you were in automotive retail, it's pretty enormous, right? New solutions like your own websites, digital retailing, CRM systems, all the systems and fixed operations. And as a DMS provider, Dominion DMS, we always kind of think about the DMS sitting in the center of that and trying to be a little bit of a traffic cop with data and keeping everything straight. But as a DMS provider, one area that we think we're unique is that we're doing this. I'm as interested in how I can help TrueSpot integrate with our solution more effectively on behalf of our joint dealers as I am about our dealer-facing feature functionality within Dominion DMS and how we can continue to evolve that. So as a partner in this ecosystem of solutions that dealers use, how can we work better together on behalf of our joint clients?
That's a great question. I'd love to hear you say that, because I truly believe integration and partnership and collaboration is how we're going to create the most value. Not one company can do everything and do everything well. And so bringing partners and helping enabling the ecosystem, and really, really critically important. And, from the dealer perspective, how all of these systems, it's actually quite overwhelming. And you hear it quite a bit as well. I hear it from dealer partners all the time. It's overwhelming, the number of logins, overwhelming the number of systems that they have to keep track of. And so we very early on took the approach to how do we partner and integrate with the existing ecosystem so that we can add complementary value, both to other systems and then also to the TrueSpot system as well. And so, yeah, working together, integrating from data sets into the TrueSpot system that makes sense given what dealers are doing with our kind of 3 sets of product, as well as providing location back to Dominion. So whether it's a car or key location, or whether it's some of the intelligent events and things that our system kicks off, but having that in any of the systems just makes it super easy. And kind of different things you can do. It could be just snacking. Hey, where's a car and key? I'm in a CRM system and I want to know where that car and key's at. I don't need to necessarily go over to TrueSpot. I can see it's the keys in the sales tower and the car's out front, and kind of the northwest side of the lot. So great. I don't have to go to TrueSpot to actually see that it's in the system I'm in right now. But if I want to do something more advanced around my inventory management or the things that TrueSpot does, great. I could click a button and click over, and I'm automatically in the system and doing the other things that are specific to TrueSpot. So,
Yeah. So thinking less proprietary and more, on behalf of the dealer's workflow, and giving them the information where they need it at the time they need it.
yeah, absolutely. Better summarized.
No, I think, but in order to get there, I think, ongoing communication between the two companies is critical, because you're going to hear requests from dealers that probably require something that we have to do, and vice versa. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So our industry, as always, it feels like it's in constant change or evolution, right? The last several years have just been one challenge after another for everyone during the pandemic. But if I specifically think about dealers, from do we get to stay open? Do we have to close? To the chip shortage, in between there's some labor shortage, now rates rising. It just feels like it's a constant attack on their operations. When you and your team sit down and do roadmap planning or business planning, and you think about the implications, the macro environment on your dealer client, there's probably some upsides and there might be some downsides. What do you think about as it relates to adding feature functionality or services into your platform in order to help dealers as their environment continues to change?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's been a pretty interesting couple of years, just the kind of the roller coaster of the ride. So one of the things we focus on is efficiency, operational efficiency, and across kind of what we consider kind of the 3 main areas of operations. So from variable ops to the reconditioning management and operations there, to fixed ops. And what we do, everything we do starts with location. And at the base level, finding where cars and keys are at saves everybody time, saves everybody money across the dealership. And so making that, so from an efficiency perspective, how do you then, and everything that's going on, get more efficient? And so that's one of the key things. And so we look at ourselves really as kind of helping digitize the dealership experience. And a lot of that efficiency is going to come and has come through the adoption of technology. Though there's some painful technology adoption curves and things that come with it, but overall the efficiency gains and what technology does for any industry, obviously, and then also very specifically to retail automotive. So we kind of take the technology from a different angle, because we're taking all the physical assets and digitizing them with location and other capabilities that are wrapped around that from an operational perspective. So our focus is really, how do we take that? How do we create more efficiency? How do we create better ease of use? How do we integrate with more systems so that that efficiency and that location data and what we call the geointelligence that's driving kind of operational decisions, even in workflow, can be adopted across systems, as well as, from a dealer operational implementation or operations perspective. So a lot of it's due to efficiency, because that's a lot of the feedback we get. How can we be better at what we do and do it faster, and all the things that go with it? So we focus there across kind of those three areas.
Okay, great. I don't want to put you on the spot or anything, but are there any industry statistics that you quote to dealers before they have your system around, the cost of losing keys, or, the operational inefficiency of not losing a car, but losing the location of a car?
They'll blow you away, and they're so big it's crazy. But if you just take lost keys and lost keys for a dealership, a lot of times the key's not lost forever, it's just misplaced. It's in a desk drawer, and the car is sold, and you got to cut a second key to deliver it, and things that go with that. If you just looked at dealers across the US, and if they lost 2 to 3 keys a month, you're talking $500 million a year replacement cost on the rekey cost, right? Just the fob and the electronic. To do that, and that's just the hard cost that goes into applying that dollar to replacing that key, and not necessarily the soft cost. The soft cost to us is well into the billions of dollars, and the simple equation to that is, from all of our experience, having a system like TrueSpot, where where every car and key's at, just on the efficiency, it saves every person at the dealership 30 to 45 minutes a day, not having to go find that car, find that key, and do that repeatedly across the operational workflow. That's a couple $2 billion a year in efficiency gains when you just look at that productivity improvement from the soft cost of just time back. And then you can start to just compound on top of that, of if the customer has to wait and they're impacted because they can't get into a test drive, or they can't take delivery of the car because you have to cut the second key, the employee satisfaction of not being able to find the key, scrambling to serve the customer, all the things that go with that, it just keeps adding up on top of it. So it becomes quite crazy from a number perspective. We look at it into the multi-billions of dollars a year in both hard cost and soft cost. And then if you really start to apply it across kind of the operational workflow, and take reconditioning a vehicle just as a quick example, if you're able to move that vehicle from step to step, just based on the fact that it's moving from a service bay to a paint and body shop to a wash bay, and a person, a tech, or someone else is not having to apply time to do that, but the system is doing that automatically, plus keeping track of the status of the vehicle, sending alerts if there's a bottleneck, it's doing it automatically, creating that sort of awareness. Then you start to look at reducing holding costs quite dramatically across the recon process, and then also applying a lot of that same logic to the from the variable ops once that car is frontline ready. So those are the things we focus on that I think really can impact well beyond just the simple stats of, hey, I lose 3 keys a month, and it cost me $900, and you just start to do that multiplication, and it gets pretty crazy. But it's so much more than that.
I imagine you get a lot of heads nodding when you start to talk about those costs.
Very interesting conversations. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I just want to also point out that nothing in my life is ever lost. It's just misplaced.
Yes.
Well.
I got some thanks for you.
Yeah. At Dominion DMS, we strive to provide the best possible DMS to our dealer clients and ensure that we are as deeply integrated with their software solutions, whether it's an OEM mandated solution, an OEM integration, or just something like your solution that they may have seen and recognize will be a benefit to their dealership. From a partner perspective to a DMS provider, what would it be if you had one piece of advice for my team and myself as we continue this journey?
Great question. So first, I think what you guys are doing is great, and kind of the open ecosystem, I think really cool and valuable for everyone involved in the ecosystem. One thing I would say that may be interesting, just from a more of a focus area is how can, so we can consume a lot of things from Dominion DMS into our systems, and critically important for us to deliver that, package that up for dealers. But one thing we can also do is deliver value back out. So whether it's location, like I mentioned, in different systems, so open APIs and webhooks and all the things that we have. But looking for areas to incorporate that location into Dominion DMS, I think would be just a recommendation from myself, because again, if a dealer, and a lot of our partners do that, they're snacking, meaning, hey, I just want to know where the card and keys at because I'm in this system. Boom, it's there from TrueSpot.
Right.
But if I want to go do the TrueSpot stuff, I want to manage my recon process or do other things, then I can go over to TrueSpot. But a lot of times you're just doing quick things, and looking for those areas to integrate in both ways, I think is very valuable.
Okay. Keeps them having to go bounce back and forth, like you mentioned before.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, great. So there's a number of dealers out there from Dominion DMS that I'm sure are now interested in TrueSpot and all that you have to offer. If they were to want to reach out to you, start a conversation, start a sales cycle, maybe you can give us some quick tips on the best way to get a hold of TrueSpot.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably the best place to start would just be our website, www.truespot.com. So I'll have all the information, what we do, how we do it, and contact information to reach out. But also feel free to email me directly, mike@truespot.com, and happy to connect with my sales team and see how we can help. We'd love to start the conversation. So
great. And as we close out here today, since we're both in the auto industry and you were in automotive retail, I'm sure you have an easy answer to this. We have moved into a new office here in Boca Raton. You can see the walls are still very white. We have 2 conference rooms that we have already named, the Mustang room and the Camaro room, but we have a 3rd conference room that is in desperate need of a muscle car name. So Mike, what's your favorite muscle car?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I actually have 2. You took, this to be very hyper specific, the 68 Camaro Rally Sport convertible is one, but you already have the Camaro room. So the second one I would say is the 57 Chevy Bel Air convertible. So that may be a long name to put on a conference room, or how you subdivide that, but I think that would be great.
Excellent, excellent choice. I love a convertible. I think I'm on my 11th convertible. So,
nice.
And living here in South Florida has given me more opportunity to use my convertible than I have in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome.
Well, thank you, Mike, for joining us today. TrueSpot sounds like just an amazing solution for dealers. And I'm sure a lot of dealers listening to this podcast will be reaching out to you soon. Thank you for your time.
Awesome. Thanks, Sharon.